So with adding and subtracting rational expressions, or adding and subtracting fractions, we want to make sure that we have a LCD, at least common denominator. We need a common denominator, and then we can go ahead and add and make it one single fraction. So what we want to do is just factor our denominators. So our first fraction, that's good. Our second fraction, we could factor out of GCF and make it 2x plus 2. And our third fraction, we could factor out of GCF again. This time it's an x times x plus 2. Okay, now we need an LCD. So this common denominator needs to have everything. So if we take a look, we have an x plus 2 here, an x plus 2 here, and here. So x plus 2 is definitely something we need. We need a 2, and we need an x. It needs to have everything. So our LCD is going to be 2x, x plus 2. Okay, so looking at this first fraction here, it doesn't have the 2 and it doesn't have the x, so we need to multiply by 2x over 2x. Second fraction doesn't have an x, so we'll multiply by x over x. And the third fraction doesn't have a 2, so we'll multiply by 2 over 2. Okay, let's just go ahead and multiply each of these fractions by what it doesn't have. So this becomes 2x squared over 2x, x plus 2. Our second fraction is x divided by 2x, x plus 2. And our third fraction, so minus 6 over 2x, x plus 2. So now that we have an LCD, we can go ahead and combine these into one single fraction. So we can't combine any like terms. There's no like terms in our numerator. So we're just going to have 2x squared plus x minus 6 over our LCD, which was 2x, x plus 2. Now the last thing we're going to want to do is factor. So the denominator is already factored, so let's just go ahead and factor the numerator. So 2x squared plus x minus 6. We can go ahead and do factor by grouping. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, so we'll expand this to 4 terms. We need factors that multiply to negative 12, add to negative 1, to positive 1. So that's going to be 4 and negative 3. So expand it to 4 terms, 2x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 6. And we could factor out of 2x, x plus 2. Factor out of negative 3, x plus 2. And what they have in common goes in one parentheses, and the leftovers go in another. Okay. So now we can go ahead and see if anything reduces. So we had x plus 2, 2x minus 3, divided by 2x, x plus 2. And we can see that the x plus 2's reduce, and we are left with 2x minus 3 divided by 2x, and that would be your final answer. Remember, you can't reduce these two x's. This is an all or nothing deal. They're together. So this here is our final answer. Let's take a look at one more example. So once again, let's go ahead and factor our denominators. So first fraction, that's good. Second fraction, we can factor out of 4. That's 4y plus 6. And our last fraction, our denominator, we can factor that to be y plus 6, y minus 4. So now we want to take a look at what our LCD would be. So remember, it needs to have everything. So we have y minus 4, y minus 4. y plus 6, y plus 6, and a 4. So it needs to have a 4, a y minus 4, and a y plus 6. So our LCD is 4, y minus 4, y plus 6. Okay. So this fraction here, we need to multiply by 4 y plus 6 divided by 4 y plus 6. Second fraction, multiply by y minus 4. And our third fraction, we will just multiply by 4. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we get. Easiest thing would be to multiply the 2 and the 4 first. So that's going to, and I'll do it over here, that's going to be 8, and then multiply that by y plus 6. So that would be 8y plus 48 over 4 y plus 6, y minus 4, plus, so distribute 3, 3y minus 12, divided by 4 y plus 6, y minus 4, minus 4 over y plus 6, y minus 4, and I forgot the 4 in the front. Okay, now we are going to want to combine like terms. So I'm just going to distribute this negative sign. So I'll make everything addition. And let's go ahead and combine like terms. So 8y and 3y, that is 11y. 48 minus 12 is 36. 36 minus 4 is 32. So 11y plus 32 divided by our LCD, which is 4, y plus 6, y minus 4. And that's actually it. We can't factor out this numerator. We can't reduce anything. So this would be our final answer.